Hello and welcome to week 2. It's already week 2. Pretty soon it's going to be summer, I promise. So welcome to week 2 in Statistics for Psychology, and we're entering into the content. First week was really to kind of get the software, get the course book going, get the introductions happening, and now we're heading into our exploration of statistics. And it starts off with Introduction to Statistics. So part of what we're going to be exploring is really the role of statistics and the role of mathematics, actually, as a language to communicate information in the sciences. And in this particular case, we're going to be looking at the science of psychology. Now, statistics, we see them everywhere. We use them in research, but we see statistics quoted on the news. We see quoted in the newspaper. We see people saying always, never, probably, most of, the majority. All of those words refer to statistics. Now, statistics, when we experience them outside, well, when we experience them anywhere, but certainly when we experience them when they're in the media, we want to take them with a grain of salt. When we're using statistics in the media, usually the person is trying to convince you of a particular fact or an opinion, and they're using numbers to communicate and influence you. Now, I'm not saying that we just blanket don't agree with them, but there are things that we want to know about where they arrived at those numbers. And when you get to the end of this class, you'll have some of those. Well, what about their sampling? What was that like? How large was their sample? Were there any leading questions? Is there funding associated with this that's motivating a particular kind of answer? Are they trying to get me to buy something? Those kinds of ideas, we come in and we question where statistics come from. Now, the errors in statistics will come from two major sources. First is you don't have enough data to draw the conclusions that you are drawing. Certainly we need X amount before the rational statistics of probability start to come into play. It's not that many, really. For some psychological studies, it can be a pretty low number, down into the 30s and 40s in terms of discrete units of measurement. But usually it's much larger numbers than that. We'll get into the effect of large numbers and whatnot, but we certainly want to know what that sample looked like that you drew from to come to those conclusions, and what methodology did you use. And we're going to find out, and a big part of this class is to connect the notions between data, statistics, and methods. When we choose to look at some aspect of the human experience and measure it, how we measure it, the statistical tools that we use to analyze and make that data useful, and the methods that we use to actually collect that data and then draw on that information to make conclusions are all connected. Types of data, types of statistics, and types of methods. So in this program, you're taking the statistics class, which is going to bind those things together, and the next class is the methods class, where we're going to be applying them to your own research. So we're going to be looking at how numbers influence the message in the media. I'm asking you to discuss that. And you will be submitting your first Excel file to me. Now, I've heard from some, and we sort of problem solved around the idea of Excel. You do need the desktop version or the laptop version, not the web version of Excel. It is for free for KVCC students. You get Office 365 for just being a student. You can download the whole suite, or you can just download Excel if you're doing on something else. It's available for the Mac operating system and the Windows operating system. Tablets doesn't really work except for the Microsoft Surface, which is actually running Windows. And you're going to need that plugin. Now, I don't go a lot into those instructions in the chapter, because what I'm asking you to do is the example that's at the end of the book. At the end of the book, there's a whole area that shows, how to get Office 365, where to get the plugin, and then there's an example of getting some data using the plugin, and I'm having you do what I did in those instructions. So you're just going to repeat what I did so you can see the final product. You're going to know if you get it right. The other part is when you're submitting this file, you're not converting it. You're submitting it as an Excel file. That's the only file format that you can submit these in. And I'm asking for particular naming conventions. So make sure you look at the naming conventions in that same, it's your last name, your last name, first initial. I can't remember exactly what it is, but very exact as to what that is. So there's not your own custom name. The file that you send me has to have that name in it because I export them out of Brightspace. And they become no longer connected to you. So therefore, it's way easier if the name of the file has your name in it and follows that convention so you can upload it easily. So we venture into statistics this week. Put on your seatbelts, and I will see you in the discussion boards. Good luck, and as always, send me any questions that you might have.